right, I think I have our, yep, I have our Facebook Live set up. I don't think I see our guest presenter yet, but I'm gonna start with just a few quick pieces of announcement. I don't think Alan is here yet either. He might be joining us a little late. There's a, I just left another event in our community. We had a part 2 on diversity and inclusion hosted by Winston-Salem. I'm not sure how many of you all are familiar with them. Today was the closing session and they were just ending when I left. But
where was that announced?
It was in, do you get, who asked that question?
Tamika.
Do you get Hustle's email blast?
Sometimes, yes, but
it's probably, sometimes it's probably going to your spam, but it's been in our email blast for the past few weeks, and we also shared it on our social media throughout the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll kind of put it out in the community, but so they must have just ended because here's Alan.
What time did they start?
Actually, I left before it ended.
Oh, 11 to, it's scheduled for 11 to 12:30, but I'm sure it's running a little over.
Okay, I had the City of Winston meeting about the MWBE too, yeah. So that's my fault.
No, it's okay. We can't all be everywhere all the time.
Not yet.
So hi everyone. I see that our guest presenter is here, so I'll just start with a few quick few quick pieces of information, and then I'll do a quick introduction of her and allow her to give a more thorough introduction of herself before she jumps into today's presentation. Alan, as always, if you can keep an eye on the Facebook Live for us, and I will keep an eye on the chat here for our presenter. But happy, what's today? Tuesday? Nope. Wednesday, everyone. It's just been one of those weeks. I don't know what day of the week it is anymore, but we're here every Wednesday, so I should know this. But hopefully your weeks are not going as hectic as mine, and you are as excited about this series as I am. We have a wonderful guest presenter throughout this entire month, Dominique Bercy. And she'll tell you more about herself. Dominique, for some of you, you may remember, she actually joined us sometime last year. It might have been February of 2019. She did a presentation with us on timing our projects as it relates to marketing. So some of you have had the pleasure of meeting her before. And for many of you, this will be your first time. Before I hand it over to her, I do want to remind everyone that may have applied for the Hustle tablets that you are not forgotten, and you should have received email communication from us. But if you somehow did not receive email communication from us, or if it's in your spam or you just haven't seen it yet, I do want to provide an update that those tablets are on their way. We are happy to say that everyone that applied will be receiving one. So there's no limiting of that. So if you applied, you will receive it. Excuse me, if you completed an application, because we do have some incomplete applications. If you completed the application, you will receive the tablet. Also for the website winner, the website applications, we are announcing the website winners on Monday. So please look out for our email blast. The 3 winners will be announced on Monday for the entrepreneurs that need a new website. So we're excited about that as well. Dominique, I will be quiet right now. I will hand it over to you to introduce yourself, and you should have the capability to share your screen whenever you're ready, and we're good to go.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you, Magali, for passing off the mic. As I was setting up my lighting, I want to make sure that everyone can see me and that the sound is good. So I'm so excited to be teaching this class today. So let me just get a second to share my screen appropriately and pull up the presentation. And okay, if someone could just let me know if you guys see my screen. Is it
yes, we see it, and we see it. We see you, and you look great. Your lighting is perfect.
Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna I don't know what just happened. Oh God. Okay, please forgive me. I'm like, I've had this new laptop for a while, but I am new to a Mac. So sometimes things disappear. I'm like, okay, wait. So give me just a second so I could get the screen back up. It's always so embarrassing to go through these like little technical things. And you're like, I promise I know
I
technology.
tell every presenter it's okay because we are all adjusting to this
Yeah.
way of life, so it's okay. You don't have to apologize. And I applaud you for adjusting to a new operating system. I am also in the process of getting a new laptop, and I keep telling myself to get a Mac, and I keep saying I don't want to have to learn how to use a Mac. I've been a PC girl my entire life.
It's interesting. I actually am so happy that I converted because I have an iPhone. So the synergy between the phone and the laptop is unmatched. So because of that, I would say you just need to just transition.
Yeah.
Actually, when I transitioned, I planned on going to Apple because they offer different classes, which is a good tip in general. And I should be back sharing the screen before I take it too far. But Apple has these classes where they teach you in store how to use their products, including their laptops. So I think somebody was trying to say that they have seen that. But yeah, it's actually really great. So if you have a chance to do it, I would recommend it. And let me just let me know if you can see my screen because I can't see you guys.
So we can see it. I do want to let you know it's not on your full Zoom, and if that's okay, that's fine. But we can't.
What?
It's not on full Zoom, so you're showing us it at 32%. It looks like.
Ooh, okay, because I did presentation mode. So maybe
that's, I can see it personally. If anybody's having trouble seeing it, please unmute yourself and let her know.
And let me just, I can at least make this at, that might be a little too big.
Maybe try 70 or 80.
See, every time I like expand it, it disappears off my screen. Okay. I think I got it. All right. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for the grace. But let's get started. I kind of filled in a little bit of buffer time, so we're a little behind class schedule, but I wanted to show you that I came up with a schedule because I am very passionate about teaching marketing from a basic level to anyone, because I have learned as a consultant and a marketer that most people just don't know what marketing is. And when you get into the nitty gritty of email marketing versus social and digital, it's so heavy that I decided I need to create a course where I literally take people through like inch by inch of what marketing is so that you understand where we're going, right? So as most of you should know, this is Email Marketing 101, and it's part of a Millionaire marketing series that I created. And I'm going to be super honest and candid. I created this series after working for a major organization for 3 years and just feeling undervalued. I was a top marketer in my department and I was really trying to climb the corporate ladder, and it kind of collapsed on top of me. So while I was kind of healing from the rubble and standing back up again, I realized that the one thing I learned working at this place was how to market and how to sell anything. Like the description of our class says, I took $1 million budget that I was responsible for, and at the end of the year, that budget brought in $42 million. Now I understand there are so many things that go into that 42 million, and I can't even claim it, right? Like none of that money is mine. But I took those tools, the resources, and the knowledge that I learned to develop a series called the Millionaire Marketing Series. Because when we're talking about how much our marketing affects our business, we need to understand that we have the opportunity to make millions with marketing. And so I want everyone to kind of get their minds wrapped around the fact that you can do this, because I, sitting in front of you, did it. Granted, I had tools, I had resources, all of that is going to come into play. But in general, we can replicate, we can imitate, even, or just understand so that we have a better understanding for ourselves. So just to give you some information about the course, today we're going to be talking about email marketing in general. The objective for this entire 4-week series is to understand email marketing, and be able to build $1 million strategy. As far as level, you can be intro level. You don't have to know about marketing. I'll take it as far as I need to, and we have opportunity and space for questions. And I want to make sure you understand that what you're going to be able to influence is essentially your business and your consumer, because this is where they meet, right? And as far as time and commitment, I just want to be honest, it is going to be 4 hours of dialogue and me talking to you, but I think it does require an hour outside of class each session to really implement what we're going to do. One thing I hate is going to any webinar, class, anything, and it's just the lecturer talking. I am not that kind of learner. It doesn't work for me. I need more engagement. So just to give you an understanding of how this class is going to work, we're going to have a little bit of time to talk about the lesson and then what I call a coffee break, just to talk and make sure we've digested for 5 minutes. And then we'll go into the second lesson, and then we will have moments for question and answer. So forgive me if I'm going a little quickly, but I'm trying to make up about 5 minutes of time. So to give you an understanding of me outside of the story I just shared with you, I am a nationally ranked public speaker and member of Toastmasters, so I'm very proud of that. I'm a marketing strategist, and I happen to work in the human resources industry for the last 5 years. So I am on a mission to empower businesses with data-driven tactics so that you can better serve your customers and increase your profit. Because let's be honest, if that's not part of the goal, I don't think I can help you. So I want to be really clear with that. And just to give you a little understanding of my experience, because people like resumes, and to be honest, as a creative and somebody who owns multiple businesses, it is very hard to answer this question because I've done so much and I look very young. So it's very hard to explain to somebody that I was a restaurant manager of a Red Lobster restaurant for 8 years. And it is what it is. I learned what I learned. So what I like to do is just tell people about my experience in a bulleted list that is in chronological order backwards. So I know that's confusing, but I was a fundraiser and event planner first, fresh out of college. Then I became a real estate investor while in college, a restaurant manager, a nonprofit marketer. Currently, I'm a lifestyle writer and enthusiast, and I'm a publisher. I have a publishing house as well as my consultancy. So it's a lot going on, but it brings together this beautiful experience that speaks to messaging, marketing, and money in a specific way. So just to give you some facts, 91% of consumers reported that they check their email at least once a day. And just by a show of like quick hands, how many of you have already checked your email today? You could put it in the chat or whatever. Okay, great. We all know that checking our email is probably the first thing we do when we wake up, or it's the first thing we do when we sit down to get work started. So the power of email, I think we all are very familiar with, but understanding email as it pertains to your business is what we're going to dive into right now. So when we talk about email marketing, we need to first think about what the benefits of email marketing are. And there are millions, but I'm just going to talk to the quick and dirty, really important pieces. Email marketing is still the most effective marketing channel. It beats all social media, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter combined. It is more effective than SEO, which those of you that don't know, SEO is search engine optimization. So it's essentially how your website or your business populates on search engines, and affiliate marketing. So for those of you that don't know what affiliate marketing is, it's essentially referrals, references. Like if you work with Airbnb and they send you a code that if you share that reference and bring somebody else on, you get a kickback. That is collectively affiliate marketing. So out of all those channels, email is number one. Email is easy to measure. It is easy to get started. It is easy to share. And most of the time, you're talking to an audience that is already engaged, right? So if we take a moment and take a step back, I know that we have different business owners and different people in the room, whether you're a business owner now or planning to be. When we think about how we talk to people and how we talk to our customers, we have to, first of all, remember that they are guests, right? And this is where the hospitality arm of my life comes into play. Emailing someone and sending a message to them is a form of courting, if you will. And I'm going to go a little deeper into the parallels of dating and marketing and selling. But when we think of how we want to engage people, I think if we put ourselves in that mindset of, I'm trying to attract somebody, I'm trying to make a new friend, or I'm trying to get someone to take me out somewhere nice, it will help us understand how we should approach it and where we should share certain points of communication, right? So if your messaging is consistent with the expectations that you have set, you should be able to understand your customers before, like, you should be able to understand them and what they're interested in based on your emails and how you talk to them. And that information should help inform what you sell to them later. Okay. So if everyone's following me, I want you to remember this concept that you are a guest in someone else's inbox. So when we talk about email marketing and what it is, let's just make sure everyone understands that it is essentially messaging people in a group setting via email. So that includes any type of email correspondence, newsletters, sales emails, or letters from the CEO. There are millions of emails that we can think of. All of those messages that are sent via email is part of your email marketing. So when we talk about email marketing strategy, I want you to remember that we're talking holistically. If someone purchased something from you, if they get a confirmation email right away, that is part of your email marketing system. And you should keep that in mind, because like I said in the slide before, communicating efficiently is the goal. So when we think about the different types of emails that we could send, and when we think about building our email system, we need to understand that, first of all, there are so many different types, but there are three kind of main messages that we want to share. Number one is the introduction to your business, right? When we think about what we want to make sure everyone knows, I think oftentimes we forget the original story of who we are and what we're doing and why. So when we think of emails, that can come in the form of a welcome email, or even a letter from the CEO, or some type of leadership, but more of like the storytelling aspect of who you are, what your business does, and why you're contacting this person. Another very common and very popular email type is like relevant news and update emails. So that could look like a donation drive email or a newsletter email, something that has more pieces of information, more things for people to engage with. And then we have the email that gives value and valuable information, right? So now we're talking launching a product, launching a service offering, sales. So now we're talking about transactional emails that incorporate maybe information and asking people for money. And as we're kind of thinking of these emails, again, we have to remember that we are courting our customers, supporters, and friends. So what does that mean? We need to be friendly. Like, let's start there. The voice and tone of your email should be friendly. You should want people to come into your community. You should want them to click on a link that you have, or an article that you shared, or a beautiful graphic that you had your graphic designer create to continue to sell the message of whatever you're saying. And as we kind of talk about what that looks like, I want you to just think of your business, or think of your message or your brand or whatever it is that you're selling, and say, what would I want someone to know on the first date? Like, or even trying to get the date. How do I get them to understand that this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and this is what I want to show you about myself, right? Because the first date, the first encounter is hopefully the first of many. So you don't want to overwhelm people with information, but you want to tell them the important parts of you and why it pertains to them. So this is where I kind of have inserted a little quick moment to take a breath and ask any questions, or maybe even check and see if there are any questions so far. I
I don't have any questions in the chat, just a few comments, kind of, reinforcing some of the things that you stated, and some people saying that they're trying to do better with checking their emails and things of that nature. But that's it on the Zoom chat. I don't know if there's anything on Facebook, Alan.
Nothing on Facebook. However, let me just say that I love everything you're saying. I think email is a powerful marketing tool that a lot of people are not realizing how powerful it can be.
Right. And I think as I've been navigating this space of consultancy, I kind of go to businesses with open arms, and I'm like, yeah, I can do a lot in marketing, but let's talk about what you need. And the number one thing I ask people that have established businesses, so let's say you already have a digital representation for your business, whether it's a website or a landing page or a social media channel or a blog, whatever you have, it's digital real estate, right? When you have people that are engaging with you in that way, whether it's purchasing a product or talking to you about your post, there is a way to capture their contact information, right? Like, it's just like asking someone for their number. I ask people what their relationship is with their customers in that phase. Because a lot of times people will come to a marketer and say, hey, I need help with marketing. And I'll say, okay, the first question I ask is, what's your budget? Because if you don't even have a budget, it doesn't mean that you don't need help. It just puts me in the understanding of where you are in your marketing journey, right? In my opinion, and I share this with Magali all the time, marketing should be 80% of your budget, because marketing empowers and fuels your business. So if you're selling masks, for example, one of my most recent clients is a seamstress that sells masks, and during the pandemic, her business has been booming. The first thing I asked her, because she happens to have other people that have purchased from her, was, how many people do you have on your email list? And she said, well, I don't have an email list. And I said, oh, no, you have an email list. You just don't realize that's what it is. So let me break down what an email list is. How many people have purchased from you electronically? And she was like, oh, maybe about 300. And I said, okay. And where do those emails live? Like the email addresses, once somebody purchases, they get that confirmation, where does that live? And she was like, well, I guess I could pull it from my Etsy store, and I can pull it from this place, and I can pull it from this place. But essentially it's in multiple places, and I would have to pull it together to make one list. And I said, essentially, Alexa, turn off the alarm. Sorry, I'm like trying to keep myself timed. Essentially, that is your email list. The thing is, you don't have it set up properly, right? If you have been selling something to people and you have their email contact information, you should be talking to them continuously. And I will tell you that the standard, the industry standard, and you can check on any email that you have subscribed to, any organization, industry standard is that they will reach out to somebody on their email list every single day. So that means there are organizations and companies out here that hire scientists like me to figure out the strategy for how to talk to somebody on their list every day. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you think about some things that we're going to talk about in lesson 2 as we transition, something like segmentation and literally segmenting your audience and figuring out what messages you want to share when, it's not that crazy of a statistic to try to stay on top of. But like we mentioned, everyone checks our emails. We probably have hundreds of emails a day. So then we go deeper into okay, now you know who you can email. You know that you have to share certain information with certain people that might be different than other people. We need a few things. We need a way to talk to these people, and we need a way to categorize and organize these people, right? So if we get to the understanding of building an email system, we can define an email list as a quick way to build community and connection, right? It's anyone who has ever ordered from you, anyone who supports you, your friends, your family, and I even include foe, right? Because let's be honest, our competition is watching us. And in this world, in this marketing world, I don't believe in the word saturation. I don't believe in a market being oversaturated or whatever. I think there's nothing new under the sun. And what you end up purchasing is somebody's story, not necessarily their product. So the concept of somebody being a competitor or competition or foe, whatever, put it all in one category and understand that you're talking to them as well, right? And also remember, email communication has a legally binding part of it, right? You are not allowed to email people that you have not gotten permission to email them. So if you're emailing them from your Gmail account or your Yahoo account or your iCloud account, yeah, sure, I can email Magali. Hey, Magali, I'm selling something and I want you to look at it. Here's the email. But if you are using an email platform to send mass communication to anyone, whether it's text message, email, telephone, like telecommunications, I think with ads, it's a different kind of policy. But if you're using the telephone, text message, or email, you have to get permission. Now, how do you get permission in an age where you have 300 people on your list that have already purchased from you and you didn't even know that was an email list? How do you even get that ball rolling? You have to have an email system that allows you to essentially send an email that says, hey, I just want you to know that I'm changing how I talk to you. I'm using an automated system now because I have so many people I want to catch up with. I need to use this platform. In order for me to send you messages like I have or haven't or plan to, I need you to check this box and say it's okay. And if you take a moment and think, I know each of you have received one of those emails. Let's say you subscribe for a newsletter or you subscribe to download a free product, or somebody's telling you if you download this worksheet, you'll learn how to do cartwheels. When you do that and you put your email address in, there's usually a checkbox somewhere, or there's usually something that you do to indicate that you are giving someone permission. That is part of your email system. And I tell clients and students all the time, do not email people from an email system without their permission. It can lead to legal repercussions. Granted, we get so many emails a day, it would take a lot of work for that to happen, but I wouldn't ignore the fact that you still need permission. And again, if we're courting our customers, our friends, and our family, we need to get consent, right? Like that's just what we have to do and make sure that we're diligent about. Is the screen sharing still going?
It went black for a second. Now it's back, but it's not sized correctly, so we can't see it.
Okay. I think
while you're resizing it, there is a quick question for you in the chat. Mm-hmm. And the question is, what if someone gives you their business card? Is that permission?
It is not permission. They can give you their business card, and let me know if it's back up and running at full view. But even if they give you their business card, even if they tell you, oh my God, you're my friend and I want you to do this, it is not permission, not in the eyes of electronics and the law. What you can do is take that email, take that business card, send a personal email. And I recommend people do this. Send a personal email and say, hey, thank you so much for connecting. I want to put you in my circle, in my contact list. But I need you to give me permission to send you different types of email. And you can determine how often and what type of email, depending on your sophistication with setting up your opt-in, that's what it's called. It's called an opt-in. So essentially you have to have people opt in to your messaging system. So you can send a general email and say, thank you for the gift card or for the business card. Oh my God, it was so great speaking to you. By the way, I want to get you into my community, my circle, into my network. Click here so that you can get any information about my business. And just so you know, I don't spam, so it won't be, overwhelming. Yeah. We've all seen those messages.
Sorry, go ahead.
And Dominique, let me jump in and also say that we use Constant Contact for our email marketing. And the other systems may do the same thing where they will allow you to use a link. And in our case, we create a button where people can opt in.
Yep.
And we'd rather not anyone get an email from us just because they dropped off their business card. On the other hand, I've gotten on a lot of email lists, and quite frankly, I don't know how I got on those lists. So it's either they got my business card or something. So you don't want your email to be received with, why did they send me this?
And how did they get my email?
Yeah.
So I have multiple emails. Like I said, I'm a scientist. So I literally have an email that I send all my retail stuff to because I don't want to crowd my inbox. So I'm one of those people that literally manages 10 inboxes at any given time. And I too have experienced how did they get my email? Who told them I could do this? And once I became a marketing scientist, I realized there are so many deals that happen between organizations and how they build their list that people can literally sell their list. So let's say today I say, oh my gosh, you guys were great. Sign up for my email, sign up for my ebook. I'll send you my ebook. If you give me your email, and life is going to be good. The ebook tells you even more about email. It goes into detail about types of email, subject lines, just tactical things that you're going to need. Give me your email and I'll give you this book. I could, now I don't do this, but I could take that list and go to a list buyer. Like I could go to, let's say, Constant Contact. And let's say, hey, Constant Contact, I use your platform and I'm a customer. I have a list of 700 people. I have already gotten permission from them to share their information, because sometimes when you click the yes, it's okay for you to contact me, we don't really know what else is in the fine print, like, and usually there's something in there that's like, we can share marketing and promotional materials with ourselves and our partner. That phrase is letting you know that they can sell the list and they can sell your email address. And by you clicking and saying, okay, you're giving permission. As the consumer, it's kind of, you get the short end of the stick, I guess you can look at it that way. But also that's why you have the right to unsubscribe. And that's why when the list purchaser purchases your list, and now they have Dominique's list from the email 101 class. Now they're going to email them about Constant Contact and using it as a platform. They are going to say, we see that you enjoyed this thing that Dominique put on, and we work with her. And we want you to know that we offer a product that aligns with what she told you. So that's how people can get around using your email. But I want you to know that they have covered their bases. And as somebody who is a small business or doing things on their own, the proper way to protect yourself is to go through the proper channels of getting people on your email list. And there are so many ways to do it. But I just wanted to kind of emphasize that and encourage you not to just email people in your Gmail contacts through your automated, like through your email platform. I'm not telling you don't email them in Gmail, but if you're transitioning them to something that is automated, you need permission.
Can I say something before you move on?
Yeah.
So I use MailChimp, and one of the options that MailChimp give you to put in your footer. So if someone, for example, didn't sign up or didn't get permission, it tells them why you got added to this mailing list. One of the options that you can choose to have in your footer is, you got added to this mailing list because you attended one of our events, or because you purchased something or attended one of our programs, whatever the case may be. And it still gives you the option, if you prefer not to be, you can opt out. And I wonder, is that an acceptable way? Because technically you don't get their permission, but you're telling them why you added them, but they still have the option to opt out.
I think that's a perfect example and a great question to address, because we can go back to the dating scenario. Let's say someone gave you someone's number. Let's say you didn't get it in the traditional way. Let's say you met somebody at a bar, they were so great, and then they left before you could get their number, but you wanted to reconnect with them. You would do the same thing. Oh my gosh, I hope it's okay. I got your number from so-and-so. I just had such a great connection with you. I wanted to continue this dialogue. So that's essentially what that footer message is saying. And it's completely appropriate. Now, some people might be like, oh my gosh, who told you I'm upset with so-and-so because they gave you my number? But most people will be like, oh, well, what did you want to tell me? So keep that kind of flirty but consensual energy, especially at the beginning of your relationship. I also want to
share. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I wanted to share positive. I love to share positive comments from the chat. So I just wanted to share with you from Priska. This is very valuable information as I am building my subscriber list for my site. So she just wanted to make sure that you knew that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I definitely need it because marketing is so huge, right? Like we've been talking about emails, but we haven't talked about email. Like we're literally still at the beginning. So thank you for that feedback. And I hope that the rest of what I'm going to say is going to continue to help. But another thing we need to understand is that controlling your list and understanding and knowing your list is going to allow you to promote your content, which is updates, products, and services, right? News, products, services, that's content. It's going to allow you to share that information even better because email allows you to look at data in a very interesting way. It's also going to help you drive traffic to your website, right? So as Priska mentions, building her list, you will be able to email someone and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for checking out this blog that you enjoyed. Just so you know, I also sell journals. And here's a coupon code for the journal. And our next blog that's coming up is coming up on Tuesday. Here's a link for where you can find that blog. And thanks so much, Priska. Now Priska can say, okay, they clicked on the link to buy the journal, but they didn't buy the journal. So maybe the price is off. Maybe the link was broken. Maybe. Okay, so they clicked the link to register for the next or to see the next blog. But maybe they stayed on the page for 2 seconds, which lets me know they didn't stay long enough to read. So email is going to help you set up the framework for the data that you're analyzing as far as how people behaved once they got your email. So we also just need to remember that email is a great way. It's a very highly effective way to nurture leads through the buying cycle. So those are marketing words. And I know some people might know them, but let me just break them down. When you nurture a lead, that's essentially holding someone's hand, dating them, courting them. You are nurturing them. You are taking them to where you want them to be in your sales funnel, right? Because some people are not going to buy from you. Some people are just going to be your commercials. They're just going to advertise for you. And so they deserve certain types of messages. Whereas the people that purchase from you, that have come to you multiple times to buy your product, they deserve a different message versus the people that don't know about you. They might want to buy from you, but they don't know what you do. So that just kind of gives you a high level understanding of your list and what you can do with your list as you're building your system. Now that we've talked about this list and you know that you have it and it's from different places that you need to bring together and essentially import into a system and then start messaging. You also need to understand what your messaging expectations are. Like, what are your goals with the message? What do you want people to do before and after they get the email, right? So not only are we going to be able to look at the list and categorize people by their demographics and psychographics, but we will also be able to look at how the email is going to help inform social. It's going to help inform digital ads. It's going to help inform telecommunications and overall marketing and sales. And it's also going to, like I said, drive more traffic to your site. But more importantly, it really gives you a chance to get to know your audience. So you need to ask yourself a few questions. Who are your clients? Who are they? Customers, clients, guests, whatever you want to call them. Who are they? Have they purchased from you before? Have they supported you before? And that just helps you understand, okay, my grandmother is a supporter. She might not be a customer, but she will support me. And when she's at her bridge game, she will tell everyone that I do marketing, and they will be able to support me as well. Can your client list be organized better? Can your customers, client list, followers be organized better? If so, what are some of the similarities? What are some of the differences? And how am I going to tag them? How am I going to put them in that group? Which all those things can be done in your email platform, but these are just things for you to think. And then, does your technology support you, right? In this digital age, it's 2020. Personally, I have a very low tolerance for certain glitches in communication that are because of technology, right? I'm very snobby with my emails. I don't like looking at emails that look a certain way. Because it lets me know how invested people are in their marketing. And if you're sending me an email that just doesn't invoke emotion, or get me to open it because your subject line has typos, or it's just formatted weird, or it's just old, right? Like, I'm already turned off. And I think what we have to do in this day and time is understand that we have to be ahead of the curve. Like, you have to innovate. You have to be running with technology. And if you are not, it's fine, but you're going to get left behind. Because nowadays, when we look at literally just the demographic of the workforce, and this is the HR coming out a little bit, baby boomers are exiting the workforce, and Gen Z, Gen X, Gen 1, 2, 3 are headed into that same workforce. The advantages that Gen X has with technology is not one that can supersede the advantages of our elders in our community and the knowledge that they have. But the fact that they have this technology, they can cipher the knowledge faster. So things that it took boomers years to learn, Gen X is Googling it, talking on their phone, not even typing, and saying, what are the 7 wonders of the world? Whereas I remember looking up in an encyclopedia, the 7 wonders of the world, and figuring that out. So we need to understand that our economy, our culture, our civilization is moving into a digital space. And if you do not have those skills, hire someone that does. And it's really that simple. I think sometimes as business owners, we have to be very diligent about what we spend money on, what's important to us. And I am completely biased because like I said, I am a marketing scientist, but I can guarantee you your spending behavior is affected by the words that I write. And I know that. And people like me know that. We spend hours studying subject lines, studying email design to invoke you to spend money. So if that's what gets me excited, imagine what a marketer could do for your business. If you said, you know what, I took this class, this girl told me email is where you should start, because even when you think of email marketing, it literally is the largest, like it has the most words, right? An email has more words than a social post. An email has more words than a digital ad. An email has more words than a text message. You can only have more words in a digital space on your website. So if you think of your email as a school bus that can literally drop off all of your students where they need to go and pick them up, it will help you frame your marketing strategy and understand how you need to spend the rest of your marketing dollars. So think of it as starting from the top, starting from the most expensive, biggest part of your budget and working your way down. Also, email marketing is probably the cheapest channel of marketing compared to all the others because it's almost free. It's very close to free. It's pennies on the dollar compared to ads. Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever the ad structure is, email is by far more affordable. So you should be doing it to start. Now, we only have a few more minutes and I want to make sure that we have time for questions. So I added a few slides to this presentation that I'll actually email to everyone. That is honestly email marketing, maybe like 2.0, like it's probably the next level of email marketing, but it's very important. And it's metrics, right? We need to understand what we are benchmarking our goal against, right? So there are different things that help you understand how to read your metrics and how to establish your metrics to determine if you're successful or not. One of them is revenue, of course, the number of items that were sold in the amount. The other is traffic, so how many people came to your site or came to your physical store. And then the other one is behavior, right? Because we need to know what people are doing with that communication that we're sending to them. You're going to need aggregators to fill out to understand your goal. So you need to know if you're using average, sum, maximum, minimum. And you need to understand that aggregates are estimates and they lie, right? So you need to take it a step further whenever you get your average, your sum, your min, your max. You need to go to the qualifiers of your metrics and say, okay, I know that it said this is the average of sales, but I want to look at the average of sales of people that are 60 and above. So that's where segmentation comes into play. That's when taking that next step is easier because now you're looking at a certain pool. And looking at the people on this call right now, if I were emailing all of us, I would literally send everyone a different message simply off of demographic alone. Because the way you talk to somebody that's 60 plus is different than the way you talk to somebody that is 30, like me. And certain email platforms allow you to do segmentation in an automated way, right? So when we talk about personalization of an email, how do they know how to put my name in the email? Hello, Bob. Today, I want to tell you about my sale. That is called personalization. That is part of segmentation. So having the ability to talk to people in a personalized way and talk to 300 people at one time is why email is so important. And I just want to kind of head towards the direction of homework, right? Because I think every class should have a little bit of homework. And I think the homework for this class would be setting your goals. Like, take a moment and think about all the things that we talked about in this presentation and make sure that you have SMART goals. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound goals. What do you want to share in 10 seconds with your customer? That's how specific you need to be, because that's where you start with your email. What am I saying and why in 10 seconds? And then you need to say, okay, can I measure this? Can I attain this? Is it realistic? Is it relevant right now? Do I need to throw in something about the pandemic to make what I'm talking about relevant? Is there a connection there? And is it time bound? Let's be honest. People do things when they realize they don't have time. Whenever you realize the sale is ending tomorrow, you're going to go and you're going to buy tomorrow because you don't want to miss the sale. So making things urgent is a part of your strategy as well. So I would say this is day one, class one. And just to review what we talked about, we went over understanding building your email system and specifically understanding who you're talking to and how you should be talking to them, the technical parts of it. Because we can go on for days about what you're saying, how it looks, the colors to use. That's what everyone wants to talk about in marketing. That's the fun stuff. That's not my forte. I like it, I can do it, but my forte is, what is the goal and how does this relate to our sales goal? How do we make money off of this? So I want to leave that as an opportunity for us to start with questions or maybe address other questions, or if anyone has any questions for me, now is the time.
So there is a question in the chat that I want to bring to your attention, but before I do that, I want to, if you have it in front of you, if you can share it. If not, I have it in front of me. If you can just share with the group the 4-week topics, just so people have an idea of what we're focusing on for the entire month.
Yes, let me stop sharing the screen so you guys don't see all my business, which is such great Zoom etiquette, right? Another tip that I do, I always exit out of whatever I don't want people to see. Like I don't just minimize it. I just exit it out and I'll just have whatever it is I have up. I'm looking for.
On that note, Dominique, we're going to have a do's and don'ts of virtual meetings roundtable discussion next Thursday if anybody's interested.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And it's so funny that we have to say those things and have those types of courses, but it's really necessary. We cannot assume anything of anyone and their work experience. And as a proud millennial, I was born in the 80s. So I'm very proud to have had the experience of the 80s for a little bit of time before I kind of got into this technological world. I have such an admiration for my elders. I was that little girl that always was with their grandparents because I needed extra eyes on me, right? So I have always been in a very interesting position where I know how to speak baby boomer, but I am fluent in millennial. And there is a transition, there is a conversation that we're not having. And a lot of times it just has to do with each of us teaching each other. Let me just teach you how to turn your camera off if you're on Zoom and you need to do something that might expose the fact that you don't have pants on. Like just turn the camera off. Magali, I don't have it.
I have it.
I have it that I could read it, but I don't have it that I can show it. If
that's fine. You can just read it.
Okay, so week one, today's week is called Building Your Email System. I'm also, if it's okay, I'm going to send a few corresponding worksheets that are free documents that I send to people that kind of help them navigate that space. And then I'm also going to share my ebook that I wrote that speaks specifically to email marketing, and it goes a little deeper into understanding how to set up your systems. So that's more of like a how-to step one guide, whereas this is going to be more of a really in-depth conversation, and there's a little bit of a bonus. So every course I'm going to give you a task, and when we get to the next class, I'm going to ask you about it and help you so that by the end of this class, you have your first email ready to send. Whether or not you have an email platform, there are plenty that allow you to email up to 2,000 people for free. So we can literally, with the guidance of this class and some outside resources and time, literally set up your system. So this week is about building your email system. Next week, we are going to go very deep into audience. So we're going to talk about audience identification, audience insights, segmentation, and personalization. And then week 3 is going to be called Testing 1, 2, 3. We're dedicating a whole week to talking about testing, because testing your emails is where you get the information you need to make the most efficient strategy moving forward, right? You can have a strategy in 1 month that works very well, and the next month you can duplicate that exact strategy and it doesn't work well. So I want people to be very friendly and familiar with testing, whether or not you're the person doing the testing as the CEO and the person that informs the CMO, the chief marketing officer, of what to do. Testing is something you have to be very comfortable with saying, oh, let's try that again, but this time let's change the colors. And because we don't want to we don't want to harass people. Testing and segmentation and understanding who you're talking to, when, what the schedule is very important. So we're going to spend a whole week on that. And then we're going to spend a week on innovation, automation, integration, right? It's an alliteration kind of that I came up with because keeping your email innovative is so important, but there are ways to do that so that it's automated, so that you don't have to do it for each individual email. And then also making sure that your email is integrated into your other marketing strategies, right? If you sent an email about a sale that you're having tomorrow for some glasses, because you're an eyeglassware salesperson, do you have a social post that mimics the email? Because you should. So we're gonna that last week we're gonna talk about what it looks like whenever you add your email to other parts of marketing and how to start tracking the dollars. So that last week is going to be pretty intense, but I think that we will be able to get through the material and hopefully understand it very well.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. So I have 3 questions now, and I don't know if Alan have any on Facebook, but I will quickly get them to you, and hopefully you can give a quick response, and we can close out at as close to 1:30 as possible. So the first question was from Dana, and I'm searching the chat for it. And Dana, if you want to unmute yourself and just ask it, that's fine. I found it, though. I just found it, unless you want to unmute yourself and just ask your question.
Okay, yes. Hey, so I was just saying, I'm completely new to this, and my husband has his own landscaping company. I run the office side of that, and then I sell insurance, so which is the reason for the multiple emails. But the issue is with the landscaping company, we need help with marketing, which is why I'm here. So just needing any kind of suggestions or advice, and that's it. Thanks.
So Dana, thank you for your vulnerability and openness to share that you're kind of like in the swamp, right? Like, let's be honest. And I think sometimes when we look at the administrative parts of our business, it's like, okay, I'm not outside putting the trees in the grass, but how do I carry this? First thing I'm going to extend to you is an offer to talk to me for 30 minutes, you and I, so we can just kind of get some clear, okay, but what is your issue, right? And I would say in order to kind of better understand what you're trying to do, let me know how many people you're talking to. Like, how many people are your customers? Like, where are they? Do you have their contact information? And is it in an organized location, whether in an Excel sheet or something? Like, get that together. And then we can have really beautiful conversations about what you can do with that. Especially if it's just saying, hey, we have a Facebook page now. Get some updates on our Facebook page, because as the person running the show, I can't send you an email every day. That's not in my wheelhouse. I have kids, I have a life, I have a husband, but we have things on Facebook that will be updated, and we'll send you an email once a month to let you know of anything else. So those are some tips that I think I could give you that will help you right away.
Okay.
That would be great. Thank you so much, Dominique.
Yeah, no problem. And if you want, I can drop the link in the chat, Magali, or I can send an email after. I know we're short for time, so whatever works.
You mean your email address? Is that what you mean by link?
No, a 30-minute slot for anyone to talk to me about.
Oh, yeah, you can drop it in there, and I'll also get it from you later. But yes, you can drop it in there so they have it. The next question that I saw was from Carl. He wanted to know, do you have any thoughts on cold emails for a marketing strategy? Or thoughts on cold emails for a marketing strategy would help. Oh.
I do have thoughts on cold emails. Ugh, they're so cold. No, I get it. And I know they have a purpose, but how do you respond to cold emails? You know, what do you do when you receive an email? I delete them. I don't even care. You don't even have enough interest in me to court me and to tell me something that is personal. And I think that's making a lot of assumptions about cold emails, right? We're assuming that there's no warmth. But when you think about what makes it cold and hot, the coldness of it is the lack of personalization. That's what makes it cold. Hey, everybody, I have a new dress I'm selling and it's $30. Here you go. I don't even wear dresses. Is the dress for me? Is it for my grandma? Is it for my brother? How did you get my email? Where do I buy the dress? Is it in like, there's so many things that you could have said to say, hey Marlene, I like these glasses that you have with the dangling ear accessories. I have this gorgeous dress that would go perfectly with that set of glasses. And because today is August, it's my birthday month, and I'm a Leo, and I love lighting people up with Leo magic, I'm giving you 10% off. That sounds way better than I have a yellow dress, is $100. right?
Okay.
So I hope that answered the question.
I think, Carl, basically what Dominique is telling you, she is not a fan of cold emails.
And
But
you
if you're
should
going to send a cold email, you need to try to find a way to make it warm.
And call me. We'll talk about making it warm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last question I see in the chat here is from Rick. It says, on my pop-up opt-in window, I ask for name and email. Should I ask for other info so I can later segment messages such as age, etc.?
Absolutely. Who asked that question?
Rick.
Rick. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking that question. That is email marketing 2.0. So I can already tell that you're a STAR student, or at least a little more into email marketing.
He's been attending Marketing Outside the Box for over a year.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to say that yes, you are absolutely correct. You need to get whatever information you want in that moment. But also remember, people have an attention span of 7 to 10 seconds. Nobody wants to fill out more than what's necessary. And in my opinion, I think some high level things you could get in that initial moment is your name, your location, and something else that might be very important to your business. So sometimes you'll see people say, are you interested, like if it's the landscaping business, for example, are you interested in getting your own landscaping services? Are you interested in working with us? Are you interested in getting fun facts about plants? Because every Tuesday we send a tintillating Tuesday fact about plants. So you can ask the questions that you need in that moment, but ask what's most important. So I recommend first name, last name. A lot of people do date of birth, so they could send a birthday message or a birthday sale. A lot of people do location so that you can send regional information. And I think location is probably the third most important, because then you can target your list. Whenever you get to the point of doing ads, you can target your list based on where people live. So I would definitely say name, first name, last name, email address, or phone number, and location. Those are the big four. And also know that later on in the journey, you can ask them other questions. You can post questions and feedback and information in the email that helps you segment them. And you can do that with the email program. So you can say, all the people that click this link on Tuesday, I want to send them a follow-up email to say, hey, I noticed you clicked the link, but you didn't buy anything. Here's an extra 10% off. And make that process automated.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dominique. I don't have any more comments. Questions. I know I missed a lot of comments, but I'll just mention the last one I see, which also came from Priska. She says that she'd love access to the resources that you mentioned. So we'll be sure to get that to everyone. I'm not sure if that's coming at the beginning of the series, after each week, or at the end of the series, but we'll make sure that that comes out to everyone. So just check your emails for all of those resources that Dominique did mention. And I'm sorry I didn't get through all of the comments. Alan, are there any questions from Facebook before we? No.
Okay. I must be doing something wrong, because the last couple of weeks, Facebook has been very quiet.
I think everybody's just good with the information, and they are all in here popping in the chat. So we're good to go.
And just so you know, I just added the link for where you can schedule some time with me. And it gives you a very quick snippet of who I am and what I do, in case you have questions about more than just this call, or if you have any questions about the homework, or if you just need a little more help. I'll share my email as well. Feel free to send me, just in the subject line, say that you're from this class so that I can address it quicker. But just let me know that you have questions. And I am so committed to marketing and teaching people what they need so that they don't waste their money, that it's really an honor to do this. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I know people always say that, but normally people don't. And Priska, I will also be sure to make sure that we talk offline, and make sure that you have whatever resources you need.
Thank you again so much, Dominique. This is great information. We're excited for next week. So everyone, please, we hope that you return and continue through the series. I want to acknowledge Dominique's mom, who is with us. Yes.
How do
So
you know that?
I can see everybody.
Hi, Mom.
So thank you all for joining us, and hopefully once again you can join us next week. The link, it's always best if you join directly through the Zoom link, but if you join us through Eventbrite or Facebook, that's fine as well. Eventbrite will just lead you to the Zoom link, so you're just making an extra step for yourself if you go that route. But either way, however you find us, and please share it with someone, because this is really good information that a lot of people pay for that you're getting for free. So don't miss out on it.
And I'm telling you all the secrets. So pay attention.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right. Did you have something to say, Alan, before we
I
close?
was going to say share, but you did. But thank you,
okay.
everybody. But if you would, like Magali asked, make sure somebody else knows about this series, and they're not too late if they missed today.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, have a good rest of the week, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Dominique, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Dominique, are you still there?
I think she left.
She left?
Did you have a question? I can get it to her.
Yes, I was just going to tell her. I want that dress that she said that she has to sell me. This was great. It's always great, but this is great. We'll see you next week.
We're
See you
definitely
next
glad
week.
to have you guys join us always.
Oh, thanks. I see you tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow? You're doing